Alright, we're back inside. First thing I did was cover my floor with a sheet for some protection. And then basically I've divided my branches into two piles, approximately equal. I'll have one nice long extra branch that I will divide between the two arrangements. But we'll start with the pile on the right first. You'll notice I've got two different pair of cutting devices. I have one short pair of scissors, which are good for small branches, and then I've still got my loppers, which I'll use to cut the thicker stems. We'll start with the pile on the right. I like to put my largest branch in first because I just think that makes things easier. And I'll hold it up and measure it. Now I could do one of two things. I could trim all these side branches off and cut this off short, use the side branches in something else, but I'm going to choose to make a cut right here. This will give me two sections that both will be long enough to use in my vase. These scissors are not strong enough, so I'll use my loppers. You may have to have a little ingenuity here. We'll put one side on the floor and the other side you will snip. Making a nice clean cut. We'll put the stubbier piece in first toward the back so that by the time the other branches are arranged in front of it, you won't even notice that it has that cut. Now we won't worry too much about them moving around because when we put the last couple of branches in, they will wedge the branch, the tallest branch, into place. So we'll get those now. And we'll look at the way that they curve. This one naturally curves to the left, so I'm going to put it on the left and let it use its curve. And we'll just put it down deep in the water like so, and then take my final branch and tuck it in there. You always want your individual stems to be away from each other and not tangled up. That looks more natural and gives you a more graceful arrangement. Now let's work on the branches for the left side. Now we want to keep these basically alike, but they don't have to be identical. Don't worry about trying to get exactly the same shape arrangement in both containers because very rarely can you do that when you're working with natural materials. We'll trim this one again so that we have two sections. And just put that stubby section to the back. The important thing here is balance. We want to have a balanced arrangement, but it doesn't have to be an arrangement that's exactly the same. There we go. And then our final two pieces. Again, we pick them up and we look at the curve. We've got a little breakage, so we'll just clip those off because that wouldn't be attractive broken and hanging in the vase. This is a nice wide flat branch, so we're going to tuck it in more toward the back to form background. Wants to be a little bit difficult. That's okay. And then we'll tuck our final section. It arches nicely to the left, over on the left side. Just work that in there. We have this one little piece over here that's broken. We might want to remove it. Now, our vase on the left seems a little bit fuller than the vase on the right, which very often happens. So we'll bring in our final large branch, and we're going to look at where we can cut it to make the most of it. Right here's a nice place because that leaves us lots of length. And then this time I think we want to snip off our little bottom shoots so that we have less competition going in the vase. and a smoother branch. And we're going to tuck that in the vase on the right. It needs more fullness. We'll separate those branches. And then, looking at our last piece, I think we can cut it one more time, actually. And we will use the longer piece in the arrangement on the left. I'm going to tuck it very carefully back into the background.